In human rights, I was asking the campground about a monthly rate. They say we don't allow monthly rate until people have been our guests for 3 months. And you'd have to pay $5,000 because they'll charge tax 50 a day to make that 3 months. And it's you wonder why people get on drugs or become homeless or commit suicide. It's you're making it impossible for people to pay. You say, well, that's the going rate or things. That's one of the industries, right? The monopoly game, property, that has been allowed over generations to take advantage more and more, to be overpriced. Like, for example, if you look at the price of food, like 1 liter of milk should be $10 based on the rent, right? Or a movie should be $48 to go see a crappy movie. And that's just the movie. It's not popcorn where they make like 600% profit. The popcorn would be like $121. Like, if you go how much you are teaching members of your society, as there's a greater and greater divide between the owners of things that take advantage of overpriced things and fix up so much less than they used to, or care so much less than they used to about if their tenants are happy or if they treat each other as neighbors with respect. You so don't care about this, and it's too late. You can't solve these human rights violations anymore because it would take somebody with superpowers. It would take like a martial law kind of thing, saying no more. We are going to partake in what is human behavior. That means sharing the commons. Because I'm riding my bike here just to see if I'll see my cat, and I don't have access to my motorhome because it's locked up in a way that I'll have to sleep on a bench. Hopefully they won't charge the extra day to pick it up when their staff comes in the morning. And I rode a long time today to come back from a place that I had to pay to go house sit. Although part of those fees, a big part, 90% I would say, was reimbursed, just so I could have plumbing in Canada to help my irritable bowel syndrome, and a refrigerator and cooking facilities in Canada. Somebody with 3, now 4 post-secondary degrees, a hard-working person, a whole bunch of skill sets. And so, do you know, if I find a place, let's say, and it's small, but it has everything kind of I need, let's say a refrigerator, my own toilet, I don't have to share with anybody, but let's say it's like $900, and neighbors are loud, and there's hardly any storage space, and I'd still have to buy some furniture thing. Do you know that I don't want to pay that? Because you get more cells that turn into cancer cells when you're being victimized. There's probably a link between being victimized in all sorts of ways in an individual's life, independently than the genetics that might be predisposed to cancers, but just life events. The more people, let's say somebody is in a job for decades and they feel victimized in this job, you're not going to have a good retirement. You're going to have cancer because you're allowing yourself to be a victim. And of course, people, I mean, my neck looks old, but I'm 54 years old, and I'm still in such better cognitive and physical shape. And in big part, it's like, whoa, I know you are pro-slavery and you don't realize it, but I'm not. I don't think it's okay because it's the norm. The norm of your behaviors as measured by what the norm will accept as behaviors. Because that's human rights violations, that's slavery, that's making somebody rich by overcharging so that somebody has plumbing and a roof over their heads. And if I have there's been times, like even like where my relatives are from, where I had a driving school, and to become a bus driver is I would have had to make below minimum wage with all the deductions they do, and been trained by somebody less competent than me, and then pretty much been stuck living with the toxicity of relatives because I couldn't have afforded a place to stay if I found one. You can't on that salary, you just can't. And if you do, it's like you're barely making ends meet. There's no way to escape the toxicity of that evolutionary dead end of Quebec and the rest of Canada.